What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live stream. Your driver Mike here. Welcome to another live stream. It's been a while and we had some tech issues, so hopefully we're squared away because we're talking about something kind of interesting, unique, and apparently Uber's first new product in 3 years. You can see it in the title below. Right here. We're talking about Uber Express Pool. And let me know right now in the live chat if you can see this stream okay, because again, we had some tech issues. We had some tech issues with our software, so hopefully everything's working okay. Let me check. Okay, good. We are finally live, guys. We are finally live. I was making plans for this stream earlier tonight, and I was excited to hop on because it's been a while since we've done one of these. And finally, we got it to work here. There's, for some reason or whatever happened to be here, the software wanted to reset itself. So we are back. We are back. And hey, if you haven't done so already, check out this right up here. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe. If you would like, if you have any interest in the rideshare space, you can be a driver. There we go. You can be a passenger or someone just interested in the rideshare space. Guys, is it too late for coffee? Is it too late for coffee? Because I needed this, by the way. I needed this to make sure we had a good live stream. As is tradition with every live stream, I got to tell you what the beverage of choice is, because if there's not one, then I'm going to talk myself out. So we need the beverage. So we got some coffee tonight. We are back. We are back there's a lot of news going on right now, guys. There's a lot of news for anyone that's been on the channel for a while. By the way, thank you for 2,700 subscribers. We are flying towards 3,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And I've been so busy. There's been a lot going on. New job, new place. We're in a new place, right? I know it's still a white background. I know. I need to. By the way, let me know right now. Time out. Let me know right now. Hey, by the way, hey, I see everyone in there. Francisco, AZ Driver, Mike Dobeck, Kenneth Cooper, Midnight Rider, John from Indiana. Hey guys, I see you in there. Thanks for joining. Anyone watching this live stream right now, if you're watching live, if you're watching on the rebroadcast, what should we put behind me? I'm gonna build a kind of a set for when we do these live streams. What do you want to see behind me? We'll put some shelves, posters, whatever. Let me know if you're watching this right now live or in the rebroadcast. We need to build a little set here. So we kind of got everything structured right now. Francisco says, we just came from the Afterpreneur. I saw that. I saw Kevin went live. And I guess it kind of worked out that I have tech issues because I delayed me going live. And I saw Kevin go live and I'm like, oh great, we're both going live and we're both talking about the same thing. So that's great. That's great. But hey, by the way, if you haven't checked out Kevin, the Apptrepreneur, like app like phones, the Apptrepreneur, go check out his channel. He is over 5,000 subscribers. He posts pretty much daily content, which I watch, which is awesome. And we did a massive collaborative rideshare podcast with myself, Mark with Uber Hints, Cecily from Drive Girl Drive, Kevin, and me. We did a nice hour-plus long podcast stream. So go check out his channel if you want to see that, and there will be more to come. I'm excited for another live stream. We got a haircut tonight. I was telling the guy I'm kind of tired. I'm going to do this live stream later. But it's been so long since we've done a live stream that I'm pumped. I feel good. I feel good to do another live stream, to get here with you guys, to get my coffee. Anyway, Mike, what are we talking about today? Shut up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. We're talking about this. We're talking about this today. This just happened today, yesterday, this week. This just happened. Uber Express Pool. Let me know in the comments, have you seen this in your app? Is it in your market? Is it not in your market? Is Pool in your market? Is Uber Pool in your market whatsoever? Mike says posters. Francisco says the Uber logo, just one big Uber logo behind me, huh? AZ Driver, your own logo. I like that. AZ Driver, I like that. My own logo, that'd be kind of cool. If I could get something that lit up, that'd be pretty cool. It's a good idea. Travis, I have no idea what that means. Ruben, hello from Dallas, Texas. Hello, Ruben. Thanks for joining. Francisco says, you're lucky your state has legal cannabis. As of January 1st, 2018, cannabis is recreationally legal here in California. I do not partake, but it is legal. All right, guys. Francisco says, the new Uber poll is lame. John as well, Midnight Rider says it just left Kevin's live stream. Yes, the entrepreneur. Mike says that it's not in Chicago, but poll is in, okay, Express is in Chicago, but poll is in Chicago. Kenneth says Uber poll is not in my market, but it is heavy in Philly. Where I came from in Pittsburgh, they did not have Uber poll. In Midnight Rider, John, you can let me know if they've added poll to the Pittsburgh market, but when I left, in August, Pittsburgh did not have pool at all. Craigslist, hey, thanks for joining as always. 4 to 5 inches of snow in, is that Minneapolis? Okay, stay warm, guys. It was in the 40s here, and people were calling it frigid. That is the word they used, frigid. I told the barber today, I said, they have not felt minus 15 degrees. That's frigid. Anyway, guys, we're introducing a new pickup and drop-off option here in San Diego to make pool trips less stressful for you. Pool riders can now choose to walk to and from corner pickups and drop-off spots for straighter routes with fewer detours. You'll earn your usual generous pool rates, and issues outside of your control won't affect your driver rating. That's a la, ratings protection kind of thing. John confirms Uber pool is not in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is a kind of a medium market. So Pittsburgh doesn't even have pool. This is express pool. So what this is, guys, in short, is passengers will request express pool. And Uber will take a little bit longer. Usually Uber is an instantaneous service. Uber is going to take a little bit, could be a minute, could be 2 minutes, and they're going to calculate, based on their algorithm, a corner pickup spot. And as you can see in the little icons over here, in these icons, passengers are going to walk to these corner pickup spots, and in exchange for basically making it more convenient for the driver, passengers are going to pay even less for express pool. Even less for express pool. Express pool is even cheaper than Uber pool. Now, Uber says here you will earn your usual pool rates, okay? So Uber is subsidizing the rest of the cost of the ride because Uber said that express pool rates are 50% less than Uber pool. Express pool is 50% cheaper than Uber pool, 75% cheaper than Uber X. Francisco says, generous rates. You're a real comedian, Mike. Sleeping Elephant, thanks for joining, says it will be confusing to start out. I don't do express pool in big cities. AZ Driver says, yes, generous for Uber, not for you, Mike. And you know what, guys? It's not even generous for Uber. That's the thing. Uber pool is not even generous for Uber. I mean, it's the lowest rates on the Uber platform. It's kind of the Walmart strategy. Think of this. Think of it as the Walmart strategy. Walmart sells a ton of stuff for super cheap versus Lamborghini sells very few things for a whole lot. So they both make money, but the strategies, the business plans are different. So this is Uber's Walmart strategy, trying to complete tons of Uber Pool and Uber Express rides to make money versus, smaller segments of Uber X, Uber Select Black XL rides, which cost more, but they do less of. Is this the Walmart strategy? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Capital City Driver, thanks for joining. It says, I'm just glad we have no pull here. And I was as well in Pittsburgh. Guys, I've never advised to take Lyft line or Uber pull. And I still have not. I don't believe I have. I've still, if you hear some background noise, there's a few pets here in the new location. And they can hear me filming. And they love me. And they want to come in and say hi. I have never taken, I can't even think of a time when I took a Lyft line or Uber pull because it's not that profitable, right? Driving around the highest demand times, ideally there's surge in prime time. Surge on Lyft and Uber, regular rides is going to pay fine as long as it's a 2x or higher, let's say, depending on your market. Absolute MMA, I'm sorry, I did miss your question. They say scroll up and answer my question. I must have, my apologies. We're flying here, guys. Okay. Absolute MMA 101 says, hey driver Mike, I have a question. I'm going to become an Uber Eats driver next month and I want to know if you need regular insurance or rideshare insurance for Uber Eats. Now I would check with your insurance provider, but you're most likely going to need some kind of supplemental insurance. Don't quote me on that, but here's why. Is because you're still driving business miles. Okay, you're still using the car for a business purpose. Now it's not for transit, right? But there could be a gray area there where if I'm Allstate or State Farm, I may say, well, hey, I'm covering you for driving 15,000 miles a year, generally, and that's just going to be normal driving. If you're doing Uber Eats driving, well, you may be parking more on high traffic roads. You may be putting yourself more at risk because you're driving unfamiliar. I don't know. I'm not in that space, but double check with your insurance provider because if anything, best case scenario, they're going to say, no, you don't need anything extra and you're no worse off. But if you don't ask and it is required and you didn't know that just because you didn't ask, then if you get in an accident, and you are driving Uber Eats, okay, maybe you can tap into Uber Eats and pay that $1,000 deductible under Uber's insurance. But if you go to your insurance and say, hey, I got an accident, I was driving Uber Eats, and like, wait a minute, you were driving Uber Eats, those are business miles. Again, I don't know, I'm not an expert in that space. Double check, that's my 2 cents. All right, guys. So, thanks, you are welcome, Absolute MMA. That is just my 2 cents. I never pretend to be an expert on taxes or the legal side of rideshare. I am an expert in the strategy part of rideshare, but hey, I will help where I can. Simon NC, thanks for joining as always. So many familiar faces. It's been so long, guys. It's been so long. And by the way, I know it's very echoey in here. We're getting some very nice acoustic foam. I was trying to think of a fancier word for it. Paneling. We're getting some nice acoustic paneling in here to give you guys even better sound. So, excuse me. Okay. Simon NC, Uber Pool is a joke. Whoever is taking it is running the platform. Oh, ruining the platform, I think is what you meant, for hardworking drivers. Quaker Oats, thanks for joining. Express was implemented in LA in the cheap parts of town. You won't see it in Santa Monica, for example. That's a good point that Simon NC makes. There's certain segments of the market that do this. And guys, let me flip over to display capture to show you this. So here is Uber's support site, okay, for riders. You can see right here, for riders. What is Express Pull? And as we just mentioned, certain areas of your market or your state. And I didn't mean to do that. There we go. You can take Express Pull trips that begin downtown, Pacific Beach, La Jolla, Oceanside, Encinitas, Escondido, Poway, El Cajon, Chula Vista, and Coronado. Okay, So different segments, go into your support center, in your partner support center. You can go into the rider section, as you can see here on the left, a guide to Uber, and go into Express Pool if you want to see more details about this, but it is for certain segments of your market. Oh, Driver Lady Pro dropping the $2 super chat. And hold on here, guys. I'm prepared. I'm prepared because I know how awesome you guys are. I thought I was prepared. That's okay. I want to show you something. I'm gonna find it for you. Just bear with me 1 second. There we go. I found it. Driver Lady Pro. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. For anyone that drops a super chat, we have a nice thank you screen for you now. Thank you so much. Super chats are highly appreciated, and they really do go to helping the channel. As much as we're like having a good time with super chat, anything like that, anything like super chat really does go to help the channel, because there are improvements that I want to make to the production side of this to provide better content for you, whether that be microphones or, as I just mentioned, sound acoustic paneling. Sure. So thank you so much, Driver Lady Pro. Sure, dude. Tip for awesomeness. I appreciate that. Morpheus Maximus, thanks for joining, says, how do you discriminate against cheap rides and riders? Well, I mean, thinking about your question, I think in like kind of a macro is, I think you may be hinting at, how do you decline short rides or non-profitable rides? Excuse me. You got to be careful there, okay? You got to be careful there, because for Lyft will tell you where the passenger is going. Uber does not until you start the ride. They were talking about piloting something that told you. I haven't heard much since, but Uber, you don't really know until you start the ride. Okay, let's say you start the ride and you're on a 3x surge and they're only going 3 blocks. Too late for coffee, that's okay. They're only going 3 blocks. And you say, well, it's not that profitable. It's kind of a short ride. I don't really like that ride. I'm going to cancel. And they're already in the car and you boot them out. Technically, you can do that. Technically. Not the best. And now here's the thing. If you do that repeatedly, you may get deactivated from the platform for kind of gaming the system, whatever you want to call it. But that can most likely get you deactivated. Again, don't quote me on that. But there's not much you can really do. I've taken 3x plus surges that have gone 3 blocks. The only thing I can say with that is that $4 ride is going to become a $12 ride. And that's actually not that bad for going 5 minutes, you know, a couple blocks. And then I'm basically already still in the surge zone, unless surge went away. It's a double-edged sword. I get that. I get that. Francisco says, get a Wawa coffee. I'm a Sheetz fan, guys. From anyone on the East Coast, I'm a Sheetz fan, and there's no Sheetz here. I don't know what I'm going to do. Wawa is the enemy. Just kidding. I've been to Wawa twice, let's say. Twice, maybe. You guys are flying. I'm trying to catch up here. I'm trying to catch up. Okay, enough talking. Let me catch up with you guys. Okay. Earlier in the chat, Mando Lopez, thanks for joining, says, maybe people will be too lazy to walk to the pickup spot. Maybe. Let's push this conversation forward. Let's push this forward and let's jump back into this. Okay, let's jump back into our screen share here, guys. And this from The Verge. The Verge says, Uber Express Poll offers the cheapest fares yet in exchange for a little walking. And still a line that I think is kind of funny. The Verge says, Uber's first new product in 3 years. brand new product, completely new. You've never seen anything like this. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. it's Uber Pool, but you walk to a corner. It's not a new product. It's not really a new product. It's a new feature on an existing product. Anyway, we're not going to read all this. Check this out. Check this out. This is kind of cool. So check out this animation. What's going to happen is passengers want Express Pool, which again is 50% cheaper than Uber Pool. They will request their ride, and Uber will give those passengers a choice of pickup areas. And you can see on the animation, it highlights that in purple for them. So they'll give them a choice. Like, okay, well, you can do a pickup anywhere in this general area. You can walk to this corner instead of being where you are now. That is your pickup, is the corner spot. And then on drop off, they will be dropped off at another general spot, generally close to where they're going, and then they'll walk to their final destination. So walking to start, walking to finish, you get to pay 50% less because of that, 75% less than Uber X. More thoughts. And guys, right now, post in the comments right now, good, bad. Let me hear a 1 for good, 2 for bad. 1 for good, 2 for bad. Uber Express Poll, go. While you're doing that, let me tell a story about my coworker who uses Uber all the time. And you probably don't want to keep looking at this. Let me jump back here. Hey, there's our super chat, thank you. Okay, there we go. While you're doing that, telling you a story of my coworker who exclusively uses Uber. One of the passengers that does not own a car anymore, or if he does own a car, he rarely uses it. I can't remember. But he uses the new Uber Pass. Uber Pass, P-A-S-S, is a subscription service. You pay monthly and you get heavily discounted Uber rides within a certain market. It's basically the entire city, but within a certain area. And he uses that every single day, at least 2 Uber rides every day. And he told me about his first time using Express Pool. Well, guys, I see 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I see a 1 in there. I see another 1 in there. 2 times 1,000. Does that count? I see Kevin, the entrepreneur, in this live chat. Kevin, welcome to your Driver Mike live chat, guys. The entrepreneur, if you see him in the live chat, say what's up, Kevin. And again, if you haven't checked out his channel, over 5,000 subscribers. That can't be wrong. Posts, I'm making up words, posts just about every single day. And we did an awesome collaborative live stream, etc., etc. You know, shout outs to Kevin. So I'm seeing a lot of 2s in there, but I am seeing some 1s. And we were asking 1 for is Uber Express good? 2 for is Uber Express bad? So my coworker told me that using Uber Express Pool thus far has kind of been an inconvenience. Okay, that the ends may not justify the means. That yes, he saved about $2 on his ride using Express Pool, but it took more time because Uber had to calculate that corner pickup. It's not instantaneous like Uber X or Uber Pool. It takes some time. I believe it was a few minutes to calculate his pickup spot, okay? 2 minutes, done, okay? 2 minutes longer right there. After that, of course, you gotta hoof it. You gotta walk to the corner pickup. Now, for him, initially it wasn't that far. Okay, it was literally right down a hill from our office, right down the road. You can see it. The corner is right there. It was 60 yards. Okay, but another time, it was almost 2 blocks. Okay, and yes, I know it's hey, you're already getting a dirt cheap ride. Drivers aren't making enough money. I'm not a fan of Pool either. Okay, but you know, it was a 2-block walk in addition to the 2-minute wait, let's say. So that's added time. And again, walking, it's probably 100 yards, more than 100 yards. Sure. but it wasn't a short, immediate walk is basically my point. So is it worth it? He says sometimes sure, sometimes maybe not, because again, you can still take pool. You can still take pool. You don't have to take express pool. Or what I take is just Uber X, because at least those rates are closer to fair. But I mean, I always tip, which I advise you to always tip. But let's catch up with you guys. A lot of twos, which my voice just cracked, a lot of twos for not being a fan of Uber Express Pool. And I need more coffee, apparently. The voice is going. Mano makes a pretty good point. Mano Lopez says, drunk people don't like to walk. Now, I remember in Pittsburgh, they tried to have designated, it failed so bad, guys. It failed so bad. They tried to have designated rideshare. I'm laughing. Oh, it failed so bad. They try to have designated rideshare pickup spots at 2 a.m. when the bar is closed, when passengers were used to the way Uber worked for years, and they were drunk, and you're trying to tell them something new is no, you're actually not getting picked up here. You actually have to walk, much like this, you have to walk a block to this corner where this is where all rideshare pickups are happening. That happened for maybe 2 weeks. It happened for 2 weeks and it bombed. And there wasn't even any signage. Come on, guys. There was no signage. You know, there's got to be some signs. Uber designated pickup spot. I've seen that before in Pittsburgh. They didn't have anything. Not good. Not good. So the pickup spots with Express Pull change. And I need to catch up with you guys. We're going on and on. I need to catch up with you. Craigslist says Uber is going to dominate all forms of transportation. They're trying to. They're trying to with competing with bus services. And guys, Lyft has done this too. Lyft is not out of the woods. And Lyft actually did this before Uber. They've already been trying this, or at least already mentioned it or piloted it. Maybe not to the same scale, but Lyft has already tried this. Driver Lady Pro says, I take Lyft and I don't share my ride. As a passenger or driver? You don't take Lyft line or you don't take Lyft line? As a driver or passenger, I don't know. Francisco says, so if the rider doesn't make it to the pickup, then is that a cancellation fee? I would imagine, and remember guys, you get 2 minutes for Uber Pool. Unlike Uber X, it's 5 minutes. You get 2 minutes on Uber Pool. If they're not there, you are gone. Do not wait. If you're going to take Uber Pool anyway, which I don't advise to do, if you're going to do it, you have 2 minutes. Simon NC says, guys, Uber is subsidizing us until those self-driving cars are out. Who agrees? I don't know if I agree. I don't know. Now, they did buy 75,000 or 20,000? 20,000. I think they bought 20,000 cars. I'm forgetting the exact number. But anyway, there's millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions of passengers. Okay? Millions of drivers. Millions of drivers, hundreds of millions of passengers. 20,000 cars or 75,000 cars. I don't even remember the number. That's not enough to cover a state. You know, it's so the scalability of self-driving cars right now, it's unreasonably expensive. And if anyone can do it, Google is going to do it before Uber, you know, just from the capital sense. The money, that's I can't even think past that, just the pure expenses. But we're going to keep an ear to the ground. You know, that's on our radar, but it's not going to be as sweeping and immediate as that. But okay, you guys are flying. You guys are flying. Quaker Oats says, if Uber made all pool rides self-driving, I'm okay with it. That is interesting. What do you think about that, guys? What if Uber, this makes so much sense. Quaker Oats, high five for that. Think about this, guys. That makes a lot of sense. Because why? Pool rides are the cheapest rides on the platform. Self-driving cars are the cheapest operational costs on the platform. Drivers don't want to take, I can't even get it in the shot. Drivers don't want to take pool and handle multiple groups that don't know each other, or multiple groups that are drunk and don't know each other. But a robot doesn't care. Interesting. I could see that. I could see Uber Pool being exclusively self-driving. Plus, not everyone wants to take self-driving cars. 50% of my passengers said yes, 50 said no. So the pie of passengers that take Uber Pool, they have to take self-driving. I don't know. We could talk about that forever. Rideshare 2K. So basically, if you're doing Express, you will be riding around with your hazards on, picking up people. Yes, but do we not do that with Pool already? I mean, again, I don't take Pool or Line. I don't advise people to do that. But, I mean, you're already kind of adding new people, right? You'd be doing the same kind of thing. But what this does is it apparently avoids detours. So as you can see in the image here that we posted, instead of, driving down more streets, you can just stay on the same road ideally and just pick up people that way. I don't know, Jose Contreras says, would you take a ride on an autonomous? Would you feel comfortable? Would you take a ride on an autonomous? Would you feel safe? Yes, and I've already done that. If I remember, I will post a link up here to the video documenting my experience within an Uber autonomous Volvo. I've been in one of those and I took a ride. Check out that video. Excuse me, more coffee. Time out, more coffee. We're finding our coffee zen. Let it work its magic, guys. Kevin, the entrepreneur, says, still doubt it will happen, but I'm not taking Uber Pool anyway. Yeah, it's not taking Uber Pool, guys, I tell you. Francisco says it's basically a shuttle service. Yeah. And whenever Lyft piloted this, it was the same kind of objections. People were saying, isn't this just a bus service? Walking to a pickup, getting dropped off at a general drop-off. How is that not a bus service? Similar here, yeah. AZ Driver says, if they can make self-driving cars work, they won't limit to Pool. Another point there about autonomous. Simon NC says, I think we are all going to be okay with that. The only problem is if the community showed an appetite for the Pool self-driving cars. Right. Yeah, as self-driving goes more and more live, and by the way, Pittsburgh, they removed one of the drivers in the car. Remember, they had 2 Uber technicians up there. Now it's 1. So, progress. But yeah, they removed one of those drivers. So now there's just the 1 driver in the driver's seat. But yes, appetite for self-driving. Only half of my passengers, and those were younger, millennial generations. Not saying that any other generation it would be different, but that millennial generation was still 50-50, which was very interesting. Driver Lady Pro says, yep, no pull for me when Express is here. No pull for me now. Well, I guess Express is here now, but yeah, no pull for me either. In addition to experimenting with other apps like Amazon Flex, but yes. Simon NC says, as drivers, true that, they probably will default the app to that. To autonomous, maybe? Rideshare 2K says, like they have bus lanes in the city, will Uber Express Pool have their only lanes where you pick up? No, I don't imagine. The only thing this is doing is streamlining the route. So it's streamlining the route to eliminate some of those, going off of your main route to pick up someone, jumping back on the main route, versus just having the passenger walk to the main route, basically, is kind of the gist of it. For instance, in Pittsburgh, if you remember, the south side has one major road that has all the bars, so maybe it would have everyone walk to that road instead of main road, back on the main road, but there's a lot more variables too. Quaker Oats says, if the passenger does not come out to the car, will the self-driving car remain parked forever or cancel after 5 minutes? It would probably cancel, I would imagine. Just my first initial impressions. Now, since it's robotic and it may have a grace period, what it may do is say, we will wait for 5 minutes, up to 10 minutes, only if there is no other ride request. So after 5 minutes, it can cancel if there's another ride request. But let's say it's just sitting there and there's no other ride requests. I mean, it still costs Uber probably to operate that vehicle if it's moving. Gas, obviously. So it'd be advantageous to help the rider minimize costs for Uber just to stay waiting anyway. It's an interesting question though. Interesting question. It waits there all night. You wake up, it's still there waiting for you. No. Kenneth Cooper says, how can I get Uber Eats in my market? Contact Uber support. That's the only thing I can say is with enough demand, Uber will open features in your market. And if you don't have Uber Eats, if you're too rural, if you're out of the main city center, message Uber support, get other people to message Uber support, and they probably will come. They probably will do it. And I'm sure they have to weigh the cost benefit on their end, but Simon NC says, whoever is doing X now only, you're only subsidizing your car value, not making any money, Simon NC, unless you're driving Surge. Unless you're driving Surge. Yeah, you can make money with rideshare, guys. You can, but like I've always said, it's got to be on Surge. It's got to be on Surge or Lyft Prime Time. Or you have to be in a market with exceptionally high standard fare, $150 or higher. But other than that, if you're taking strictly standard fares on a per mile rate of under $1, your expenses are 53.5 cents, 54 for this year, by the way, then yeah, you're not turning much of a profit after taxes and expenses. The entrepreneur says, Kenneth, wait for Uber to bring it. Yeah, and again, Kenneth, lobby to Uber support. Maybe you can get Uber Eats. Delaware, he says. Hey guys, another timeout. Right now, something we haven't mentioned. Important, super important. Timeout, guys. Hey, if you are enjoying this live stream, that it's been a while, and we're going to get back to doing more of these live streams. There we go. That's why we have the coffee. If you're enjoying the live stream, if you're enjoying the content, if you watched 1 second of this channel and you found value, can you hit the button that looks like this? Can you please leave a thumbs up on the live stream? Shows me that you get value in these live streams. Get these live streams. There we go, guys. That's why we have the coffee. Let it work as magic. Let it work as magic. Hit the button that looks like this. Tells me that you get value in these live streams. Gets more people in here, more eyes on the channel, more people on the Your Driver Mike team. And speaking of algorithms, it boosts us in YouTube's almighty algorithm. If you can please leave a like on this video, I'd really appreciate it. Let's jump back in. Let's change up the setting. What do you say, guys? Boom. So, Gizmodo says, or I guess Sydney at Gizmodo says, I tried Uber's new Pull Express service, and honestly, just take a bus. Just take a bus. So Sydney here again with Gizmodo talking about their experience with Uber Pull Express. Or Uber Express Pull is specifically, Sydney, how Uber calls it, Uber Express Pull. But again, cost benefit, you can see right here. So how is this not a bus stop? Uber director Ethan Stock shrugged off the bus comparison, saying Express Pull isn't analogous to public transportation because pickup and drop-off points are algorithmically determined based on riders' location and where they're headed, as opposed to fixed routes within pickup times. Sure, I get it. I get it. It is different, but is it really worth it? So check this out. In my experience, Uber Pull was about $2 to $3 cheaper than Uber Pull I'm sorry, did I say Pool? Express Pool is $2 to $3 cheaper than Uber Pool and drastically cheaper than Uber X. And again, that's when my coworker echoed that, yeah, he saved about $2 to $3 on every ride using Express Pool. And this was someone who used Uber exclusively, at least 2 times a day. Doesn't even have a car, really. But is it worth it? Is it really worth it? I'm not even going to read this. And guys, you can see here Gizmodo if you want to look up this article. But apparently for Sydney, it may not be worth it. And from my coworker, it may not be worth it. And for you guys, for drivers, it's probably definitely not worth it. Let's jump back with you. So, oh, it's the thing to do that whenever the display capture pops up, we're going to secretly sneak in some super chats in there. So whenever I come back, it's funny to see the reaction because I didn't see them pop in until we come back on the live chat. Jose Contreras, thank you so much for the super chat. And of course, the VIP Driver Lady Pro doing her pro thing, guys. Boom. We got the screen back up. It's my favorite screen to bring up because you guys help the channel. Thank you for the super chat. Again, super chats are a way to tip your YouTube creators, to tip them, show your appreciation, show that they are providing value on YouTube. And hello again. What we do with that here on the channel is always try to provide better content for you. For instance, and I'm going to pull this back up here. I like keeping this up because if anyone's new to the live stream, this is what we're talking about right here. But really what I do with super chats, what have you, a lot of the revenue as well from the channel, is try to level up the content here on the channel. As in, we doubled up on the lighting system a while ago. We got several different mics, we have tripods, and now we got some decently premium acoustic paneling to deaden the echo, which I've noticed in here. So thank you for those super chats. Yeah, and Kevin says, for drivers, it's almost certainly not worth it. I would agree. I would even lean even more confidently and say like it's really not worth it. I can't ever think of a scenario where Uber Pool is really worth it. Again, unless it's surging. But even so, I mean, just the logistics. I like having a nice clean run, start, finish. One group, one stop to manage. Of course, they can have stops along the routes. Yeah, it's similar to that basically. So why is it any different? I don't know, but that's just me. But yeah, I just like having a clean start, stop, etc. Driver Lady Pro says, I agree, Kevin. Less stress for who? Quaker Oats says, I'd rather pick up McDonald's orders on Uber Eats all day than do Express Pull. By the way, I have done Uber Eats. I've done Amazon restaurants. They're pretty close, actually. Uber Eats, Amazon restaurants, food delivery is what we're talking about. Less stressful. It's pretty decent, pretty nice. I still love Amazon Flex. Amazon Fresh, specifically, the best as far as convenience and pay for us, the drivers. Okay, catching up. Kevin says, I'm trying to be diplomatic, my words, for once. That is okay. Nothing wrong with having a polarizing view of rideshare, of pool. Sure. Anyway, okay, let's catch up. Jose says, I followed an autonomous car last week in San Francisco. Probably a Google car. It drives... It drives like an old grandma. Jose, was it a... I can't remember what Google uses. Someone help me out. Lexus? Do they use Lexus? I know they used to use those tiny little white cars. I can't remember. But yes, talking about autonomous cars, in Pittsburgh, you get used to those XC90s. It used to be a Ford, maybe a Ford. And then they went to the XC90s, which they use now for autonomous driving. And yes, they drive by the book. So they will drive exactly the speed limit. They will make turns especially. It must either be challenging for the AI or that's just how they programmed it. But to complete one turn takes about 4 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds. And if you count that out in your head, that's a long time to make a turn. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't know, but the turns take a while, and it's ultra safe. I guess let's say that. AZ Driver says Waymo in Arizona are Chrysler Pacificas. Interesting. I did not know that. Chrysler Pacificas for Waymo. Okay. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. Okay, more to show you. So here is the actual description screen for passengers. The other screen that we saw was the help section, asking more questions. This is the welcome to Express Pool screen. This is the main screen for Express Pool. Kind of funny. Walk a little, save a lot with Uber's most affordable option. Question for you guys. Question for you. Why now? Why now is Uber introducing, or why did their team even think about Express Pool now? When Uber is still not making a profit quarter over quarter, month after month, year after year, when Uber is really not making any profit, when Uber has lost $1 million a week in San Francisco trying to subsidize pool, why would they now introduce something that is even cheaper, generating them less revenue, that they're subsidizing the rides on? They're paying the drivers the other 50% of this ride because, again, drivers are going to get paid the same as if this was a regular Uber pool. But Express Pool is 50% cheaper, so Uber is subsidizing that. I have a thought, but let me know your thoughts first. Why is Uber doing this now when they really don't have a ton of excessive revenue coming in? I don't know. We can't see their books. Who knows? Maybe it isn't that bad. I mean, I know they report to their investors one thing, and those are a lot of losses. But why would they do this now when they're not generating a lot of revenue? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, why would they do this now? So, how to use Express Pool. Request and wait for your pickup spot. Walk to your pickup spot. Walk to your destination. Walk, walk, walk. Benefits of Uber Pool. A few moments to improve your route. Again, it takes a little bit. Uber will calculate a corner pickup spot. You can see number 2 here, efficient pickups and drop-offs, and better matches and lower prices. More of the same that we've been talking about. Another benefit is exercise for your passengers because they're going to be doing more walking. Anyway, why now, guys? Why now? Let's find out. Kevin the Entrepreneur says, oh yeah, I can retire on that 50 cents a day. Jose says, the people in the Google car looked pretty nervous. In the autonomous Uber or Google car that you saw, they looked kind of nervous. Interesting. And in talking with the drivers of Uber's autonomous car at the time, that was a year ago probably. That was a while ago. Maybe not a year, but that was an interesting conversation. Yeah, check out that video if you guys are interested. Kevin says, showing game-changing invite Oh, initiative impresses investors who care less about profits now, strangely. Driver Lady Pro says, I think it makes people invest more money. The entrepreneur Kevin again says that everyone wants to be like Amazon, get a near monopoly to control the markets. Richie says, I don't ever take pull, even when I don't know what that says. I do X under protest, so good thing Express isn't in Orange County, OC. A lot of decoding there, Rich. I don't know. I don't know. To the point of Kevin and Driver Lady Pro, investors, what do you guys think? The only thing I can think of, if we're talking exclusively about investors, is they may be able to say, Uber to investors, hey, look at everything we can do with our algorithm. We're solving problems because, again, a great way to stand out, guys, in anything is to solve problems. If you want to excel in your career, if you want to stand out, solve problems. Everyone says, oh, this and this is so hard. I don't know why we have to go through 10 steps to just process this simple form. I don't know why, the computer always freezes when this happens. Find a better way. Solve a problem, you will get promoted faster, you will get leadership positions, you will exponentially increase your revenue, your income, and ask for more money, by the way. When you start solving problems, that's when you can really, and when you do start getting recognized, and I know a tangent, a career tip right now, but ask for written, what's the word? Praises? Ask for it in writing. Say, hey, that is so nice. I really appreciate you giving me a heads up and really, praising my performance. Hey, I'll tell you what, can you go to my LinkedIn page and there's a way to give recommendations on there. Do you mind just writing a quick recommendation for me and just saying a lot of things you just told me that'd be really awesome as I move up in the company? Even if you don't plan on staying with that company, tell them that. Say, because again, the written word is powerful. If you say, oh, hey, yeah, I got a lot of praises in my last job. My manager says I did a great job. During an interview, it may seem like fluff. They don't know. The interviewer doesn't know. But if it's in writing and you have 15 recommendations in your last job, that's going to look really, really good. So solve problems, and with that, get praise. Ask for written praise. I have no idea what other word to use. Ask for it in writing, and then once you accumulate all this influence, all these successes, standing out, solving all these additional problems, go for the kill, ask for that promotion, ask for that raise, boom, there we go. Back to our conversation. Quaker Oats says, Uber emails me often for low acceptance rate. I refused a ton of pull rides. That is fine. Quaker Oats, anyone guys, acceptance rates, as you know or may not know, you cannot get deactivated per not a security change, per a policy change 7 months, 8 months ago at least. You cannot be deactivated for a low acceptance rate anymore. It could be 2. They cannot deactivate you for low acceptance rate. They can put you in timeouts saying that, hey, if you are not available, please go offline. We have timed you out for 10 minutes. You cannot receive any ride requests. Please go online after 10 minutes or when you're available. They can do something like that, but they can't permanently deactivate you. So they'll send you emails, they'll send you texts, but it doesn't matter. So you can't get deactivated for that. Richie is decoding his message. He says, DF means destination filter, and yes, Orange County. I'm batting 500. That's pretty good. I'm 1 for 2. Thanks, Richie. I appreciate it. Okay, Kevin, the entrepreneur. Kevin, by the way, it's awesome to have you in here. That's so cool to see you in here. I really appreciate that. And because of that jerk who crashed into Katie, Katie now fiance? Is that right? Recent fiance? Or are you already married? I can't remember, Kevin. Fiance, I think. Just if anyone didn't know who Katie was. Crash into Katie. I have to pick her up from work. Talk later. All right, nice having you in here, Kevin. Really appreciate it. Talk soon, and I will get back to your email. Driver Lady Pro says, I think the flying cars, and fly every time we say it, that's a real thing. We're really talking about that. And if it's a flying car, isn't it just a plane? Isn't it just a plane or a helicopter? If it can do both, I guess technically it is a flying car. If it can be a car, if it can, transform into a plane, then I guess it's a flying car. But anyway, I think the flying car and express pool attracts investors, even though losing money. But they are saying they are investing in the future. I mean, it's funny as that sounds. It's kind of true, guys. I mean, it's kind of true. Investors are smart. They didn't get billions or hundreds of millions by being stupid. Okay, who knows how many have a nest egg or a trust fund? I don't know. Honestly, probably not even that many, guys. Probably not even that many. If you're a venture capitalist, if you're an angel investor, you're probably very smart to earn that money. Starting businesses, right? Entrepreneurs, starting businesses, selling businesses. Anyway, they have a lot of money for a reason. So there is some truth to that. As funny as it's a flying car, is the express pool, what is all this stuff? It's a long game for some of these investors. It's a long game. Think about early investors of Facebook, right? Facebook it is what it was, X amount of years ago, and look at it now. So these investors are trying to get in that ground level, the ground level of Amazon, the ground level of Facebook. Uber is definitely not ground level, as they're valued, or they were valued at 70 billion and then like 48 billion. Who knows where it's at now, but they're not, a bare bones startup. But these investors are playing the long game. 20 years from now, if Uber plays their cards right, and they've played some really bad hands, as you know, they're trying to recover. They lost half of their chips, right? They're trying to recover. Respect to any professors that have to do lectures for hours. Wow. Your voice really goes quickly, doesn't it, guys? But investors are playing a long game. If Uber is the winner in 20 years and they play their cards right, they grow the way that everyone wants them to grow, those investors are sitting on exponential growth, right? That's the long game they're trying to play. But it's comparing investors to drivers. There's such a discrepancy of the two. So that's where the tough side to this come from. Jose says, how hack-proof are autonomous cars? And what is Uber doing to avoid the situation, and how long after launch until an autonomous car hits a pedestrian? I say on day one. Now, I don't think it's going to happen on day one, because Uber has already been testing the autonomous cars in Pittsburgh, and the LiDAR system, the visuals, the actual, the site-based systems, they work, and they can detect objects. So I don't think they're going to necessarily hit a pedestrian, but if there's one of those scenarios, one of those, crash is inevitable scenarios, that's the muddy area of rideshare, of autonomous rideshare rather. Well, I guess autonomous anything. That's where the sticky situation comes in. So I feel like their system should be okay for the most part. Again, I can't predict the future. I don't know, but there's some even more complex situations other than just their car hitting a pedestrian. But hey, if their system fails, it very well could. That's one of the big concerns is safety, of course. Richie says the acceptance policy change was the best, better than in-app tipping in my opinion. Wow, okay. It was good. Not being deactivated for a low acceptance rate, because I have had a very low acceptance rate at times. Because again, we've wanted to drive for highest profits, and there's some strategy to that, right? You want to take only the highest profitable rides. Nowadays it's maybe looked at more so in the past. We don't know for sure, but on par with in-app tipping. That's interesting. Driver Lady Pro confirms no deactivation. And Quaker Oats also confirms after 3 no's from yourself, you get you go offline. Correct. Okay, guys. Well, hey, we just crossed over the 1 hour point in the live stream. So in these final minutes here, I want to open it up to you for any questions about Uber Express Pool, any recent changes here with really anything with Uber, with Lyft. Let me know any final questions that you have here, guys, before we wrap it up. I really want to say thank you for you guys to joining the live stream here. And we have 18 people in here, guys. You guys are awesome. Before you go, you were probably hovering over that X, weren't you? You were thinking of it. Don't go. I see the number at 18. Don't go right now. And if you've been watching from the start to finish, by the way, you're awesome and thank you very much. High five to you. But before you go, before you watch all the suggested videos over here, watch one of mine, by the way. Or you know what? Just click on the channel below and go through our playlist, go through our videos. We have so many awesome videos. Speaking of awesome, Jose. Oh my gosh, you guys are. Jose just paid for my coffee. Thank you so much, Jose. I guess this is not a business expense. I don't think I can write this off as a business expense. Yeah, we can talk about business expenses sometimes, guys. Don't try to cheat your business expenses, by the way. But you know what this? Oh, Driver Lady Pro 2. You guys are too much. It's funny. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do a super chat, but I'm gonna do like 3 $2 super chats just because it's more fun that way, right? Guys, you know what this means? Jose and Driver Lady Pro just dropped super chats. So, boom. The thank you for the super chat screen has been activated. I need to get a cool sound effect for that. As we level up the studio, it's a bedroom. We'll call it a studio. It sounds fancy. As we level up, maybe we'll do something with a little sound effect, but we activated the thank you for the super chat screen. Anybody that drops a super chat gets the special Your Driver mic. Thank you for the super chat screen. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So as I was saying, before you go, if you guys could leave one more like, well, I guess you can't leave one more like. You can only leave one like. You can click it again. Go ahead. You can click it again if you haven't done so already. But if you haven't, hit that button. Please leave a like on this video. If you got value from this live stream, from any videos on the channel. We have like 200 videos. That's a lot of videos. That's one video for basically 3/4 of the entire year last year. That's a lot of videos. If you got value from any video, from any second on this channel, can you please leave a like right now before you go on this live stream? I really appreciate it. Shows me that you get value in this live stream. The content on this channel gets more people in here, more eyes on the channel, more people on the Your Driver mic team, and of course, it boosts us, which is so important. It boosts us in YouTube's almighty algorithm. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you guys for watching this live. Any questions before we go? Silicon Turtle, come on. Silicon Turtle. Giving another kind of compliment in the live chat. Thank you, Silicon Turtle. Jeez. Anything else, guys? Anything else? You are awesome, Driver Lady Pro. Thank you. Any other questions? Talking about acceptance rating. I think that's it. All right, guys. So thank you for joining the live stream. Look for some more content. Post any other questions in the comments below. I really appreciate you watching. We have one last question coming in here, guys. Richie asks, just one question. How long have you been driving for? Part-time since October of 2015. Yeah. Not so much here in San Diego. It's part confidence on the road thing because there's a lot of very fast moving traffic with 5 lanes of traffic and not being an expert on the roads. But in part that, in part I'm trying some different apps, Amazon Flex, looking into other apps as well. But, still out there when it makes sense, holidays and whatnot. Busy times. So we're definitely still in that space. Also experimenting with what else is out there. But yeah, part-time, October of 2015. Yeah, so I think that's it. Yes, awesome. Emil T, thanks for joining. Nice having you as well. Thank you for joining, guys. Leave a like on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.